for 2 minutes.
It's preparing. We're thinking about it.
I know. Todd, you're the best AV guy. Does anybody under 30 know what AV stands for, right?
That's like the webmaster. What's that? We don't even know what's a webmaster.
Exactly. Todd, I don't know how old you are, but like
55.
How old?
55.
Okay. And you're rocking the locks? Do you still have the long hair in the back, or
it's still fairly long. It's not like beach bum long, but it's longer.
Yeah. The reason I co-authored a book with Todd Hockenberry, because he looks a little like Ernest Hemingway, right? And you're a Hemingway fan, aren't you, Todd?
I'm a huge Hemingway fan. And as a matter of fact, the last time I was at the Hemingway house in Key West, the guide said, "Hey, you kind of look like Papa."
Yeah. Oh,
I was pretty happy.
Baby. All right. My name is Dan Tyre, co-author of the Inbound Organization, and I'm super excited to introduce my friend and co-author of the Inbound Organization, Todd Hockenberry. Right. I'm going to kind of go on mute because Todd told me to, and he's the smart part of the relationship, and it works really well. And oh my goodness, my friend Ethan Beute from BombBomb. He's going to do all the talking because there's so many things on his agenda. First of all, I was just like spouting off of how nice a person he is. He just traveled through the Midwest. He runs a software company that BombBomb that has been highly successful. He's got a big heart. And Ethan, you have a new book coming out, don't you?
I do.
I do. We're going to talk all about it.
Look at that gloss and emboss. That's just
nice.
It's a lovely physical product. Like the hardcover, they did it over white. So it's like super bright and cheery.
Ooh.
All right. So we're going to ask you some questions about you, about your company, about human-centered communication, which you can order on Amazon. Right. There's a great website. This is going to be a bestseller. I know it's going to be a bestseller. It's going to make the New York Times. Ooh, who's that?
That unfortunately for all of us, that's page 188. That if that was page 1, I think we'd really draw people deeper into the book.
I told you that when we were writing, like when you were writing it, I said I should be chapter 1, but somehow I fell to chapter 13, which I'm only ribbing my friend Ethan about. I have the people that you have in this book. All right. Like, I'm going to ask the questions before I start ranting, Todd, because I got like 12 tangents. I am at chapter 13 in this book, but I don't support the book just because I'm in it, right? I support the book because the title, Human-Centered Communications, is completely consistent with the Inbound Organization, right? Todd, all the things, and Ethan did something brilliant. He got 14 world-class writers and his buddy Steve, and he gave each one a chapter, and then he included me just because he likes hanging out with me, I guess, right? And now I'm hanging out with Mario Martinez, this guy, Shep, which is amazing. You just look at the Viveka von Rosen, Shep Hyken is his last name, Morgan Ingram, all of these people that I like see on social media, and I've seen speak at all the inbounds and things like that. And he's got them in one book. Pretty amazing.
All right. So Ethan, first of all, thank you for being on the show. And this is going to be a shout out to podcasting. We are all connected through podcasting. It's been a great tool to get to know people, to build great content, to help others, and really build relationships, which we're all huge fans of it. So if you're not thinking about podcasting, it's something you might want to consider. But Ethan, your company name is an awesome name, BombBomb. So tell us, what is BombBomb and why is it called BombBomb? I've never asked you that. I want to know.
Okay, I'll start with why is it called BombBomb? Because it'll lead into the other answers, I think. So our two co-founders, Darren Dawson and Connor McCluskey, had this idea years ago. The company was legally founded in 2006 before the iPhone existed, and well over a year before the iPhone with video existed. So like early days, and they were both sales and marketing guys, like natural entrepreneurs. And Connor at the time was selling outdoor advertising for Lamar billboards. And he was a new sales rep, but over the course of, several months, grew his list to the point where, they hand you a set of accounts to get started. And, you look to grow it. And, it was all in the Pikes Peak region here. We're based in Colorado Springs, but, from one customer to another could easily be 60 or even 90 minutes, depending on where they're located. And now with the traffic that we've developed over the past decade, it'd be like 2 hours maybe. So in any case, he knew that when people were saying yes, they were saying yes, not just to the ad space or to the price point or whatever, they're saying yes to him. And so he thought, okay, I'm now at the point where I can't get face-to-face with people as often as I want to. What if I could send myself in a video to say, thank you, to follow up on a meeting, to show a new billboard that went up, birthdays, anniversaries, getting ahead of contract renewals, all the things that today, over a decade later, people are actually doing with video messages. So we had this vision, a long time ago. And so they started working on it. They didn't have a name for the company, and they were at some kind of a social event. Some young woman told Connor that he was the bomb.com. And bomb.com was already taken. BombBomb.com was not. It was popular slang at the time, like he's the bomb, she's the bomb, this taco's the bomb, etc. Kids don't really say it anymore, but I think we're all in a similar enough age range that we would recognize, yeah, there was a period when things were the bomb and that was good. So that's where it started. And the way that works is that, like, ultimately still here, and this goes to the message in the book too, this isn't about video. This is about you and the other person. Video is just the best way to connect the two of you in all of these circumstances, if you use it at the right time and in the right way. And so you are the bomb in this situation, as long as you make other people the bomb. And so we tend not to like walk that out as much as I did here, because it's just a little bit of a stretch on that popular slang at the time. But mechanically, we're a video messaging and video email platform. We have a web-based app. We have mobile apps for iPhone and Android. We have integrations with Chrome and Gmail and Outlook, Salesforce, Outreach, Zendesk. We're building our HubSpot integration, which is something that we've wanted to do for a long time. And we're excited about that opportunity because so many of our customers are HubSpotters. And so that's what we do mechanically. At heart, we know that you are better in person. We know that humans are best face-to-face, eye-to-eye. We know that no matter what happens regarding a pandemic or anything else that physically separates us, whether it's functional, like Connor couldn't get across town again and again to see all of his clients in one day, but he could actually sit at his desk and send 100 videos to his 100 clients in one day. Like it's this opportunity is what drives us, this opportunity to rehumanize our digital communication and make business more personal and human again. And that's what led us to this second book. It's also what led us to this orange one stacked behind me is our first book that I co-authored with Steve, called Rehumanize Your Business. And that was kind of like the full guide, like the what, why, who, when, and how of video emails and video messages. And this new one that Dan was kind enough to join us on, is bigger and broader than video email and video messages, and it goes even deeper into human connection. So that's a long way around your question.
No, that's a great answer. I've always wondered. I've used BombBomb. There's some other tools out there, but BombBomb is a great bundled tool that makes it really easy for you to create personalized video messages and email them very quickly to your target audience, your customers. You can use it for service, whatever you need to use it for. So there's our pitch for BombBomb. Check it out. It's just bombbomb.com, right?
Yep, absolutely. That's the website. I would also add that even though some tools like LinkedIn from the mobile app or Slack now have native video messages, there are still benefits to doing it from a platform that tracks views, provides other layers of engagement, provides a branded opportunity to you, not to the company that you're using. And so there are a number of benefits to doing this in other channels, even as some of the native platforms take it on. You can use these videos anywhere.
Gotcha. All right, so that's a great introduction. Let's dig into your book. It's called Human-Centered Communication. It's coming out next week, 12th on Amazon.
Yep, it releases a week from yesterday.
Awesome. Very exciting. Release day is always fun. Let's dig right in. One of the key issues you talk about is digital pollution. So it's an interesting idea. It's a really well written and a really well thought out idea. So talk to us about what is digital pollution and kind of why does it matter?
Yeah, thank you. So digital pollution is language that we generated to capture all of those things that annoy us, frustrate us, confuse us, or even frighten us in all of these digital and virtual and online spaces we operate in. So the easy go-to is the most aggressive and nefarious and nasty type of digital pollution, which is phishing schemes, malware, denial of service attacks, like really, truly nasty, aggressive stuff to trick, swindle, crush, attack, steal from other people. On the far, then we call that intentional pollution. On the far other end is what we call innocent pollution. We've all been in that, like in emails early days, it was that chain letter that your uncle or your cousin or your grandma sent you that was like, forward this to 10 friends if you want good luck. It's just like, oh gosh, not again. Or today it's more manifest when you're on that group text. You pick up your phone and there are like 85 text messages. You're like, what happened? And you're like, oh, I'm in a group message that should have been a one-to-one message, but here,
Ethan,
same thing on LinkedIn. Yeah.
I'm going to interrupt you. I have to go on a mini rant.
Please.
Everybody gets at least one rant today.
Yes.
Dan, you got to save up your rant. My rant is the text. You just brought up a sore subject. When you like a text, I hate that. Why are you liking a text? There's no value added there, right? I liked it. I texted it to you, right? So it's just wasted. I'm waiting. I get the notification that I got that. And I'm waiting for some meat and I get it's like, that's such a waste of time. Sorry, I'm done.
Yeah, no, you're good. So, and here's the thing. If anyone starts thinking about this, they immediately come up with 100 ideas. Your spam folder is full of them. Like one of my favorite ones right now is when I look at my spam folder, which I do from time to time because I'm interested in this stuff. It's loaded with these presumptions that I'm going to meet you Tuesday at 1:30 on Zoom. Like that's the hot new thing. And some people are even talking about putting calendar invites out to people who never even asked about or talked about a calendar. So this thing shows up on your calendar and so this goes to the heart of it. Who is this from? Did I schedule this? What the hell is it about? Should I actually show up? Which brings me to the 3-word definition that we have for digital pollution, which is unwelcome digital distractions. Anything that takes you off point, off message, that doesn't serve you, that doesn't help you, that's injected in front of you in a feed or in your inbox or anywhere else. So on the other end is innocent. And it's like, the person that put you in the group text or the group LinkedIn message didn't mean you any harm, but it's still frustrating and annoying. And at some level kind of silly. And we can come up with some silly examples. But the big fat middle where most people are operating is in this consequential pollution. It's not what was intended necessarily, but the way that you're executing a message or an experience for someone, whether it's a prospective customer, a prospective hire, a current team member, a strategic partner, anyone that you're communicating with online at some point, you could be going about creating and delivering that to them in a way that they don't understand, that doesn't serve them, that's greedy or selfish. The most easy thing to think about is, I scraped an email address off a LinkedIn profile, so I'm going to drop them in my Cadence tool, and now they're going to get 37 messages over the next 9 weeks that tell them all about how amazing I am. Now, that's a really crude example, but that certainly falls into this consequential pollution category. Last thing I'll share here is not only do we need to think about the pollution that we're potentially creating, and we can go into the nuances of pollution if you want to, but not only do we need to think about the pollution that we're creating because we have limited shots. Every message or experience we create trains people to ignore, delete, or engage with us. And if you wind up in the ignore category, you're going to ultimately wind up in the unsubscribe or delete or spam category. And in the meantime, the more you send in a non-responsive way to somebody who doesn't care to hear from you, those people are teaching the machines that you are irrelevant to them. And so the machines are going to increasingly control. And this already happens in all of our social feeds. Of course, they're highly curated by algorithms that know what we dwell on, what we like, what we comment on. If you don't engage, let's say you have a LinkedIn connection, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really excited about this person. We just connected. We just met in a digital forum or whatever the case may be, or I heard them on a podcast and they connected with me. If you don't like or comment on their next 5 posts, it's like they never existed. They're just going to disappear from your feed forever. And it's going to continue to increase across all of these digital message boxes and experiences. And so we're training the people and the machines to ignore or delete us based on whether or not we're giving them something that's useful to them. Hence the need to be more human-centered in our approach. But the last thing here is, even if we're on the up and up, even if we're a Dan Tyre or a Todd Hockenberry who actually cares about the person on the other side and is doing their best job to be of legitimate service and value, to build a positive reputation, knowing that that's a necessary precursor to building revenue that's healthy and successful and sustainable revenue, you still are in the fight against pollution because your message or your experience is landing in the context of phishing schemes, garbage emails. And so if you're sending things that aren't clear, if you're sending things that obscure the value or the opportunity, if you're not going all out in a way that makes it really easy for people to understand who you are, what their opportunity is, why you're reaching out and how they can proceed, then you're potentially not going to get the attention you deserve, because we definitely no longer get the benefit of the doubt as people injecting experiences into people's digital lives.
Gotcha. Okay. So is digital pollution the same thing for everyone, or is there some context? Is it a personal thing?
Great question. It is insanely subjective. Matthew Sweezy, who you may know, he's his title right now is Director of Market Strategy at Salesforce, but he's been a marketing futurist and thought leader and evangelist at Salesforce for a while. He's now a partner in their futures lab as well, which is really exciting for him. Our conversation with him really added a lot of nuance for this to me and Steve, in separating what is noise. We all say that like digital spaces are noisy, but there's a difference between noise and pollution. And that pollution is subjectivity. That pollution is very, very contextual, which gets to the heart of your question, Todd. You and I could get the exact same email on the exact same day at the exact same time from the exact same person. And you might say, oh my gosh, this is so helpful. I'm so glad that this arrived today. And I might say, this is absolute garbage. Why did I get this? This sucks, right? Similarly, I could get that same message a week earlier or a week later and say, oh my gosh, I'm so glad I bought this, or got this, because I may have already bought that product or service, or I didn't even know that I needed that product or service, and it didn't do a good job of communicating the need. It didn't reach me where I was in my consideration of this product, service, category, problem, solution, whatever. And so even I might deem something different, separating noise from pollution, at a different time or in a different channel. And so it is highly, highly contextual. And the goal here is not to be perfect and to perfectly eliminate all pollution, because A, that's beyond your control as someone creating these messages and experiences, but it's to be as understanding of who we're reaching, when and how and why, and what they prefer, and where they are in the buying journey, which to say is nonlinear is just it's probably the grossest understatement that any of us will make today, to say the buying journey is nonlinear. And so like figuring out where these people are and trying to meet them as close to where they are as possible. So you're not insulting their intelligence, but you're not also giving them something that they can't even relate to in any way, leaving you in that ignore delete pile.
So these are topics we've gone through a bunch on these events, and we've written about. Dan talks about it. I talk about. We talk about an inbound organization. You got to know your persona, your ideal buyer. You've got to understand their journey. You've got to, and I think there's another level to it as well. You have to create excellence in your communication. If it's mediocre, it still may be on message. It might be going to the right person at the right time. But if it's not well thought out and not well executed, that's going to be perceived as pollution. Correct?
Yes, and I want to add one layer to this. Mm-hmm. Dan Hill, the other Dan in the book, who is an emotional intelligence expert. He's authored multiple books. He has 7 US patents in the analysis of facial coding data. Really interesting dude. He studied sports, politics, and a variety of other things from like a nonverbal communication perspective, specifically using the facial coding system approach, I think popularized by Paul Ekman. So in Dan's chapter, one of the best takeaways is it's more important. I want everyone to hear this. It is more important to be on emotion than it is to be on message. And that another way of saying that is we all know that it's more important how you say it than what exactly you say. And this is difficult for a lot of people who are using a service like BombBomb or the video tool in HubSpot or whatever, because they feel like they need to be on message. They need to get the right words in the right order and say it the right way. And let's A/B test the heck out of this to get the exact right words. And like, that's good. You can make incremental improvements that way. But the fact of the matter is, when you're not using other opportunities at hand, including video, you're using visually and emotionally impoverished communication. So not only do you need to dial in, like, who is this person? Where are they in the journey? What's going to resonate with them? What do we know about other people that have been at this point in their relationship with us? And how can we convey that to this person or to the segment of people? But when you can infuse it with and by emotional, I don't mean like, pouring your emotions out over the top and melodrama and some of these other things that come to mind. And it's not this soft thing that comes to mind for like a hardcore type A, like hardcore metrics driven person. I'm talking about just the emotional content of, do you care about what you're communicating? Do you care about the person you're communicating it to? Do you have some interest or excitement or enthusiasm or concern or wonder around what this means for the other person? And the more we can infuse this emotional component, which is at some level inseparable from the visual component in our messages, this is the key takeaway. And this is the reason Dan Hill says it's more important to be on emotion than it is to be on message. You want to be both, but it's more important to be on emotion. It's because emotion drives both memory and motivation. Emotion shares a Latin root with motivation. And so if we are to be memorable, and if we are to actually move people to behave, an emotional resonance needs to be left with people when they interact with your message or any digital experience that you create. And so, like, we can't metric our way to our success exclusively, because so much of what's happening in that dynamic of being on emotion is immeasurable.
All right, I'm going to put Dan and Ethan, both of you, on the spot here. This is not in our agenda. This is not in our questions. I'm going to put you on the spot. I'm going to show everybody how smart you guys are right now. I work in a lot of traditional industries, manufacturing, industrial, where you're talking about very product-based things, right? I have this product, I have to solve this problem, right? Talk to me about how, or give me an example of how you can inject emotion into a sales conversation that's about, say, a piece of capital equipment.
So easy. I've watched you do it for 25 years. First of all, when Todd walks in the room, he's not a screamer like I am. He doesn't necessarily have the big energy, but he's thoughtful. He's got a great vocabulary. He asks the right questions. And in 3 minutes, all these guys, he would never tell people that he has 3 patents in laser patents, like actual US patents, because he's too humble, right? But in the first 7 minutes, he's asking good questions. How important is that? How does that work, right? The voice tone, the way in which he approaches it, the things that he says, it's like, okay, everybody in the room looks at him and knows that, number one, you're engaged. Number 2, that you did your homework. Number 3, you know exactly what you're talking about. Number 4, it becomes clear that you may be able to help him, right? And it doesn't have to be jumping on a soapbox like Dan Tyre or super smart research like Ethan. It's that you've never walked into a room where people didn't say, this guy doesn't give a shit, right? When you call people, you call and you're like, oh, no, I want to talk with you about how I can help, right? And they want to cry. They're like, help with what? And like, you're like, well, I saw on your website, I did this research, right? That emotional intelligence, that engagement, right, is super important. What makes you Todd Hockenberry?
Well, I wasn't surfing. I wasn't, searching for an endorsement, but I'll take it, Dan. Thank you. Ethan?
I think sometimes people equate big energy with emotion, and you're just so good at being chill and low key. So all the introverts in the audience, and I know we have thousands of introverts, they're like, you're Dan Tyre, you couldn't admit the emotion. I'm like, no, you need to see my buddy Todd Hockenberry, who I don't think I've ever heard you talk above a whisper, right?
Ask my kids.
Well, that and when we got a publicist from our publisher that wasn't on LinkedIn, I saw you, like, that was the funniest thing. I know, Ethan. We can't go there because Todd will have a heart attack, right?
Yeah.
It
know
was
what kind of book we wrote, right?
I know,
where the buyers of books
I
like
know,
this
I know,
are,
I know.
right?
Don't, okay, I opened Pandora's box,
Sorry.
but I want all of our introverts to know what Ethan just said is that engagement, that understanding, that showing you care, that's human-centered communication, right? No one cares what you look like. They don't care what you're on your t-shirt. Oh, can I do my wardrobe change?
Go for
please.
it. While you're doing that, Ethan's going to give his answer to this question.
Okay, so the most important thing is how we make other people feel. Okay, and so, yeah, we want to be aware of how we are emoting, and that's such a handsome t-shirt. By the way, Dan, anyone that's watching this, you can get that t-shirt by going to the site that's behind Dan, clicking to see the pre-order bonuses. And I forget where the t-shirts start. I think it's like at 10 copies, but you can get that human-centered shirt. And I hope it provokes conversation.
If you buy 50 copies, I'll sign the shirt, right? It's a large, it's only been worn twice. I did it for a webinar yesterday and today, right?
Awesome.
And I'll send it to you. Right. I'll pay for postage, which I never do, as the cheapest guy in North America. Todd's like are you kidding me? You're paid for shipping. And like, yeah, it's going to be, people going to be wearing the t-shirt all the time, right? Super important message, right? This is the basis for communications in 2021.
Yes. So how we make other people feel. So it's not necessarily about the emotions that we express. It's about how we make other people feel. And so where I was going to go is really where Dan went, which is asking questions. Asking questions guides people into their own feelings, right? So if you know that you're walking into a problem, like you're going in and your solution is going to help put out a fire, you don't want to manipulate people, but you want to understand, like, how big a fire is this? How big a priority is this? How, like, don't assume any of these things, ask them and bring it out of people. And in the process of hearing them out, you're going to see how much of X it is, right? And you're going to be in that moment with them. And that can help inform the way that you're communicating with them in the future. On the other hand, they might be coming to you because they want to take a good thing and make it great. And so they're going to express their interest around this problem or opportunity or solution a different way. And that's something that you can then, again, meet them on. And to Dan's point, you don't have to like be this big over the top personality. You want to make them feel the way that they want to feel relative to you and your product or service. How do they feel about you as a person? How do they feel about your brand? How do they feel about your actual product or service? How do they feel about their problem or opportunity? How do they feel about their team members? How do they feel about the pain that this problem or opportunity creates or solves for their own customers? Like, that's the emotional intelligence. So a lot of people hear emotional intelligence or EQ and they're like, that sounds soft. I don't understand it, whatever. It's just understanding, like, how do people feel about this situation? And if, as soon as you're consciously aware of it, it's going to change the way that you maybe ask questions. It's going to change the way that you listen to responses and understand everything that's going on in the response. Not the like, did they say 5 or did they say 25? How did they say 5? How did they say 25? And that's what goes into the note. That's what goes into the mental note or the CRM note or whatever the case may be. So that when you follow up with them, you can meet them where they are. And I'll turn this into a practical tip on video messaging really quickly. One of the most valuable video messages that any business practitioner can send is the follow-up after a meeting. You can use it to set meetings and to increase show rates and those types of things. But after the meeting, a short video to follow up, to make sure that they feel like you heard and understood them, where you reiterate some of their own language, you lean into what excites them or concerns them, and really kind of, again, meet them where they are emotionally, not where you're acting, but just like this, you're meeting them where they are, and video allows you to do that in a really helpful way. And the real money benefit in this is not only some of the things I already mentioned, and maybe including bullet points for courtesy. You don't want to hide everything inside the video message itself. You want to unpack some of it so it's easy to scan as well. But you're giving them something that they can easily forward to people that weren't in the meeting, people that they maybe chose not to invite, people that they were going to do the debrief with afterward, people that you don't even know are going to influence or even make the decision. Now you get to carry yourself forward through the organization with the click of a forward button or a share button or a copy paste on a link. You get to present and represent yourself, your understanding of the company, your understanding of the person, your understanding of the problem, the opportunity, the confidence that you can inspire as being a trusted source for moving this thing forward, a clear communicator, all these other things that we want people to know and understand about us. And if you're a leader or a manager, all the things you hire your sales reps for, these are the things: responsiveness, caring, listening, intelligence, confidence, all these things that you're like, oh, I like this person because they check all these boxes, and you hide them behind a cloak of digital anonymity. Like, let them loose. This is a money video to send after any meeting if you want people to understand how much you care and how much you understand them and how much of a solution you can provide.
All right.
Hold on. Let me just say one thing. Can I say one thing?
Yeah, okay, go ahead.
All right. Ethan does this very well. Every time I talk to him, he sends me a 45-second email with him and his gray hair. When I started working with Ethan, he didn't have gray hair, but now
I did not.
I know. 2 books will do that to you, Ethan, right? He references 1, 2, or 3 things we talked about. He's always so appreciative and thankful. The reason why he's a great author with Steve for this book, practices what he writes about, right? And it always makes me feel good, right? It's 45 seconds, so it doesn't waste my time. He's like, Dan, this is what we want to accomplish. Exactly what he said. Now, Ethan, smart guy that he is, data scientist, knows when I read it, knows when I open it, knows when he can, like, if I only went through 20 seconds of it. which, sorry about that, Ethan, that sometimes happens with me, but it is the way we establish connection and a superior form of communication for the 21st century.
All right. So Ethan, next question. One of my favorite topics is mindset. I'd love to dig into the mindset of why companies do things and why they market a certain way. And, I've talked a lot about my car dealer. It's something we wrote about and I rant about on a regular basis. Like, you get to things now where it's like, do you want the extended warranty? It's like, what's the mindset behind companies that just pollute you with really repetitive messages that you don't care about, don't want? What's the mindset that leads people to do that?
Couple key ideas, and I'll end on a framework, because what we're doing with human-centered communication is blending human-centered design, which is a 30 or 40-year-old practice, most popularized by a company called IDEO. And so I'll speak to a framework that they offer. They've designed such things as the first Apple mouse decades ago using human-centered design. They've designed water systems in Africa using human-centered design, and all kinds of products, services, systems, processes of all types. And we've interacted with many of these things in our own lives. So, but I'll end on that. We're blending human-centered design with digital, daily, virtual, online communication. That's what we're doing with it. So I think the way that we wind up, a couple ideas related to why people do this. First, I think we look at what we're doing and we say that it's working, right? And so we can say, oh my gosh, we moved this conversion rate from 2.4% to 3%. We are rock stars. We're amazing. We're champions. We high five, we chest bump. And because that's a 25% lift, that is no small feat. You and I all know, everyone watching knows, gosh, if we could move something 25%, like that's a really nice increase. The problem is, the mindset issue is we completely ignore the 97% failure rate. And by that, I mean, you don't have to beat yourself up over the 97% failure rate, but you need to be honest about what's captured in that 97% failure rate. And so let's just be kind and say the vast majority of those people are just kind of like in that ignore, delete. I don't have time for that today. I'm not going to look at it. I'm not interested. But let's say there's this other subset in there that's like, man, that was just one time too many. Unsubscribe, abuse, delete. Or, with Jocko van der Kooi, founder of Winning by Design, and just an insanely intelligent and thoughtful person as well. He uses Superhuman. We didn't name Superhuman in the book, but I will here because they're a solid company. He uses Superhuman, and he raised this idea of not only can I block that sender, I can block an entire domain with this tool. And so now I am unreachable, not to that rep who's in that seat for 6 or 12 or 18 months. I can block that entire company for all time, forever, because they're polluting my inbox. And so if you think about so that's some slice of that 97%. And then there's that other smaller slice of the 97% that's going to do things like, and we've all seen it, screenshot it. Maybe if they're really polite, blur your face and your name and your company name, put it up on LinkedIn, write blog posts about it, talk about it on podcasts. Can you believe what these jackasses did? I can't believe they I unsubscribed 3 weeks ago. Look at this crap I got today, or look at this laughable variable data fail. I've got a whole folder full of them in my own desktop here. I've chosen not to publicly shame anybody, but there's a slice that'll publicly shame as well. And so if you're realistic about what's happening within that 97% failure rate, you know that you're diminishing your available audience in the future because you've trained them that you're not worthy of their time and attention, because you're not valuing their time and attention, because you're not giving them enough thought to give them enough value to say, oh, I'll give this time and attention again. You're diminishing your reputation and your brand name. You're creating negative word of mouth, and especially the more that you're serving niche markets, that stuff can go a long way very quickly. And there is a bushfire or a forest fire that you don't even understand. All you see is that what was working before isn't working as well again. And so I think at some point, one of the ways out of this is the metrics will just collapse. But I think that we're still a long way off on that, because again, we can look around and say, oh, this is working, while ignoring what isn't working about it, and how what isn't working about it now is going to make it harder for anything to work in the future. Last thing, that because it's fundamental to the book, is that, and I already promised it, is that framework from IDEO. Human-centered design operates at the center of 3 things: desirability and the needs of human beings, feasibility and the possibilities of technology, and viability, the requirements for business success. Okay, again, desirability and the needs of people, feasibility and the possibilities of technology, and viability, the requirements for business success. So we're not asking anyone to go off on some moral mission and do this for the right way and sacrifice their margins. It needs to be viable for business success. The problem is too few of these companies in this mindset start with what's their definition of business success and go immediately to what's technically feasible, and the technology is more powerful, less expensive, and easier to operate than ever before. And that's where they live. They live at the intersection of those two things. And that's where humans are not used properly. Humans are not engaged properly. The machines are doing most of the work. It feels machine driven and it sucks. And it's all volume and efficiency, volume and efficiency. And while we need to consider volume and we need to consider efficiency, the human-centered design framework you start the whole thing with the needs of human beings. Now just imagine what it would mean. I know I'm not going out too far on a limb here with you guys, but somehow this seems highly provocative in some rooms that I'm in. If we started all of this work with what does our prospect actually need or want? What does our customer actually need or want? What does our recruit actually need or want? What does our partner or vendor actually need or want? What does our customer actually need or want? Start there. And then go to business viability and technological feasibility and operate at the intersection. So for people who are like overly automated and operating at the intersection of viability and feasibility, all we're asking for is a slight shift over to the other, to the center of the thing, instead of just being at this, I'm thinking of 3 circles overlapping. Just move over a little bit, restore the balance. This is just a call for restoring of a balance.
What does Gary Vaynerchuk say? Marketers ruin everything.
Yeah, salespeople ruin everything now too, because they've got powerful automation tools themselves.
Right. Hey, not all of us.
Not all of us.
Some of us lead with our big hearts. Some of them, when I was just teaching a class before this call, and teaching people how to prospect, right? And we always send videos. We call them. We leave voicemails here in the United States, not so much in international kind of locations. We do our research. Right? When I'm calling Todd, I'm calling Florida-based co-authors who want to sell 5,000 books in the next 18 months. Does that sound like you? And Todd would say, yes, it does. And I'd say, all right, well, tell me more about that. And we always lead with 15 minutes of help, right? Always lead. And people are like, help with what? And for me, I'm like, well, it depends. What do you need help with, Ethan? Right? Which people find mildly amusing. But if they're like, they don't like small talk, and I see on their LinkedIn that they're wearing a tie, right? Or they have an advanced degree, or they talk like Todd, I modify my behavior. I go low in my voice box. I go, oh, we help business owners with lead generation, customer acquisition, client engagement, and competitive advantage. Do you need to grow in 2022? And everybody's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, tell me more about that. And then they do all the talking. And people think I'm sick. They're like, how come you're not jumping up and down and screaming like you always do, Tyre? I'm like, no, because, right, I am of service to start the conversation to let the other person talk.
Nice. Okay. We got about 5-6 more minutes, Ethan. So a couple quick questions. How did people audit and check to make sure they're not creating digital pollution? What are kind of some self policing ideas around this?
You and I were talking about this. I forget whether we were live or not yet, but does anyone that's executing this marketing or sales or service communication actually like to receive this type of communication?
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's one easy thing. Another thing is we all have customer feedback channels, solicited and unsolicited customer feedback. What are they saying? When are they saying it? How are they saying it? All of this activity is monitored, although Apple's kind of breaking that by breaking email open rates here with the next iOS release. But, how are people actually behaving with this stuff? What are actually people responding to? NPS, not just what's the score, but who's responding and who isn't. And when someone gives you a 7, is that a 7 that could have been a 9, or is that a 7 that was a very polite 4? These types of things, like the nuance is all in there. We have tons of information available, and it just requires honesty with ourselves about are we doing our best? Are we actually serving people in the way that they want to be served? And again, the goal is not perfection. It's just steady improvement in this direction.
So let's talk about video. We know your BombBomb's all about video, and a lot of this human-centered communication is about video, though it's not just video. It's clearly messaging, and it's a framework for the way you should think about your communications. But let's talk specifically about video. Why is it so important to human-centric communications?
Yeah, a variety of reasons. And so many of the people in the book use video in a lot of different ways. Some of them do use video email and video messages. Some of them use services besides ours. But there's also a lot of talk on how to show up in a Zoom call more effectively. And as you already observed, how to inject this into all of our digital and analog messages and experiences that we create for people. But specifically for video, I'll go to video messages in particular. When you look at the alternative, again, this just comes down to being more emotionally and visually rich. People will feel like they know you before they meet you. You'll be able to express your ideas more clearly. If you are sincere about what you're doing, there's nothing better than you could do because it's going to come through in the way that you're communicating. If you're insincere, don't do video. It will give you away. Even if you're a good actor, there's some discrepancy between what you're saying and how you're saying it that the other person will be able to detect. They won't say, oh my gosh, this guy doesn't care about me. They'll just know that something's off, and they'll know that, and we get this in person too, right? Within 3 to 5 seconds, like, I got a good feeling about this dude, or I'm not so sure about her. These human instincts that we've developed to survive and thrive for millennia are still alive and well in the humans that have made it to 2021 and beyond. And so we still lean into all of these skills that we have, even though much of it is intuitive. We don't understand it well. There's a lot of science behind all of it at this point. As individuals operating throughout our day, we can't be conscious of all this stuff, or we'd be exhausted before we got out of bed with all the decision making and interpreting we have to do. And so the more we can make it easy for someone to understand what they care about most, which is intent. What is our intent relative to them? Do they care about me? Do they care about the situation? Do they have my best interests in mind? They care about intent more than anything else, because a highly competent person who is not warm or doesn't have the best intent, or doesn't have intent aligned with my own, could really do me a lot of harm. However, someone who has my best intent but is not highly competent, they can at least point me in the right direction to be of some help. And of course, someone watching a live video like this, or even the recording afterward, is probably both. They probably actually care, and they're probably highly competent. That's the kind of person I'm going to say yes to. Yes, I'll take the call. Yes, I'll take the next meeting. Yes, I'll pass you up in the chain of decision making. Yes, we'll review the contract and proposal. Yes, we'll sign the contract or proposal. Yes, we will get all of our team members involved in this kickoff and onboarding experience. All the things that we want and need people to say yes to starts with our intent. And when we hide again behind that cloak of digital anonymity, we're stripping our communication of anyone's ability to detect what they care about most. And when we do that, we leave it up to their own judgment to decide, does this person care about me? And they have no data to go on. And another protective mechanism that humans have deep inside them is they're going to assume the worst. If it's a lot less risky to assume that this is not a good, safe procedure. And so no one is consciously aware of this stuff as they're going through their day. But when you don't get the call, when you don't get the reply, that's some of the mechanics of what's going on. And a simple video message can unpack and unleash a lot of opportunity that is just latent out there. You just haven't reached people in a way that makes your intent clear.
Gotcha. Last question, real quick. Any specific advice, action items, action steps people can take to make their communications more human-centric today?
Yes. And we'll go to Dan next. I'll keep it really simple. Instead of asking yourself things like, why didn't he open it? Why didn't she play my video? Why didn't they return my call? All of this after the fact, post-mortem stuff. Why not ask the question before you ever type a single word or hit the record button or pick up the phone or turn on your auto dialer? Why would they take my call? Why would she play this video? Why would he open this email? What's in it for them? And if we just start that way, we're already ahead of the whole game, and we're forward looking. We're putting the other person first. The more, and we already mentioned it, like understanding who we're reaching out to as an individual human being, or at least as a subsegment of a wider segment within an ideal customer profile. Like, the more we can be clear on who we're reaching out to and what's in it for them, and the more we can make what's in it for them clear to them, and the fact that we actually care about what's in it for them, then we're in the right direction.
Excellent. Dan?
For me, I want to start with the basics. Ethan and I laugh all the time because in 2017, I told you this too, Todd, it's the year of video, and it wasn't. 2018, I'm like, okay, everybody's going to catch up. Missed on that one too. 2019, I'm like, okay, this is going to be the year. Everybody's going to catch up. Not again. Now it's 2020. I'm like, okay, we're global pandemic. We got to be human. We got to send more videos. We made a little bit of progress, right? 2021, you don't send that video, you're a bonehead, right? Because see that? The year of video. I know.
It's still a question mark, though. It's still a question mark.
Because I used to send text emails. Then I started doing 10 videos a day. 10, right? Turns out people like a little Dan Tyre, like a little movie. It's like Harry Potter. I send you an email and you see me ranting and raving about something, Todd. And you can play it at double speed if you'd like, so you can get through me more quickly, right? It's usually funny, right? And but you know it's human, and you know it's from the heart. And I'm like, Todd, we got to fix this. Okay, what's the market share of video in for prospect emails today? I will eat my human-centered communication t-shirt if it's more than 20%. So everybody's sending me the same stupid friggin' email that all it does is piss me off. Todd Hockenberry, you do not need any more emails. You may need a little Ethan Beute. You may need a little Dan Tyre. You may need somebody to like help you identify the issues that you want to sell more books in 2022. And it's a huge differentiator. In the book, I say that it is the biggest innovation in prospecting since the invention of email, because it is, and it's the future. And the future started in 2017. So now I'm yelling at people not to be an early adopter, but the train is leaving the station. Right? You got to have a big heart. You've got to use your own personal humanness. You've got to be authentic, but you got to use the tools if you really want to make an impact.
And to the leaders and managers watching and listening, you need to trust your people. You hired them for a reason. I mean, so many people want to chokehold the situation and put words in people's mouths and words in people's emails. Trust your people. If you've trained them, if you've hired them well, you've onboarded them well and trained them well, you should allow them to represent you and your brand and your product and your opportunity in the way that they're capable of. I see so much chokeholding there. It's just really sad because it makes the job suck more.
Exactly. Excellent. Ethan, as always, great guest, great insight, very interesting book. I read it over the weekend. It was fantastic. Great ideas. Again, thank you for appearing on our Facebook Live. And Dan, thanks as always. Our next event is going to be Wednesday, the 10th of November, same time, same place. We'll be sending out messages to everybody. In the meantime, I dropped the link to the book in the comment section. I'll put BombBomb in there as well. Ethan will put your LinkedIn profile, and if you want to connect with Ethan on LinkedIn, you can do that there. And feel free to reach out to him about video. BombBomb's a great tool. Check it out, and check out the book.
Okay, can I do a 2-minute commercial for Inbound Organization? Because Todd, we have room for 1, maybe 2 consulting opportunities between now and the end of the year.
Sure.
Right? We're starting to travel again, right? Get on planes, which is a mixed bag. Last plane I was on was like a cage fight. Oh my goodness. People like screaming and yelling. Flight attendants have to protect themselves with utensils.
Dumb.
I know.
People are so dumb.
I know. They're human. They're all cooped up for the last 18 months. They forgot how to queue up and go when their group is called, which like we got to relearn again, right? Anyway, Todd and I work with companies that embrace the inbound organization. They want to do all of the things with human-centered communications. They want to make sure that they're delivering the right information at the right time. They want to make sure they have a central view of the customer. They want to treat people like human beings. They want to help, not sell, right? And we've worked with dozens of companies in a variety of different capacities. Sometimes it's virtual. Sometimes we go on site. Sometimes we train the executive team. Sometimes it's the entire company, right? Highly successful, super fun and meaningful, right? Because as you read the Inbound Organization, by the way, you can buy it on Amazon or you can buy it at inboundorganization.com. You'll see that there's a lot, right? We bit off a lot when we were talking about how to change your entire organization, the technology that you need. And it's not all HubSpot, although there are a lot of HubSpot folks listed in the book. It's understanding how to align, right, all of your processes so that everybody's working in kind of in the right direction. And so if you're interested in that, just send us a quick email. You can drop your contact information at inboundorganization.com, right? There's tons of free stuff because we walk the walk, right? But I think 2 slots left. If you're interested or you want to book for 2022, just let us know, dtire@hubspot.com. Todd, what's your email address?
Me at toddhockenberry.com, or you just go to inboundorganization.com, contact us. We'll get it there too.
Yeah, it's about 6 weeks of lead time, right? So we're in November, December timeframe. But if you're planning for 2022, it's a great way for Todd with his big brain and Dan with his big energy to come in and identify. We do a good identification of where you're at. In fact, on the website, there's a good profile that says, are you ready for become an inbound organization? And you take a series of, I think it's 33 questions to understand your readiness. It's an assessment form, which was awesome. And then we'll talk with you. We'll define what your short and medium and long-term goals are. We'll get actively involved, and we're at your service to move from traditional organizations, legacy organizations, into an inbound organization.
You don't need my endorsement, but you guys are the real deal. This book is the real deal. I've hosted over 170 episodes on the Customer Experience podcast. Both of these guys have been 2-time guests. And obviously you can't talk about customer experience without talking about employee experience. And this is the way to do it from the inside out to build a healthy, successful, sustainable organization that not only people do want to work for, but that people want to be customers of. And you guys did a great job with this book and in building this community. And I'm privileged to be part of it. And I feel like I should read the book again now.
Well, we need to do a revised edition. It's been 3 years. It's still relevant. I mean,
Highly.
I'm happy with the fact that it's holding up and standing up. But again, there are some new things, right? Obviously, what we just talked about today.
Hold on a second. It's more impactful today than when we wrote it. And you said that was going to happen. I'll never forget that conversation. Anytime Todd says something, I got to listen because he's right 90% of the time. And he said,
one of these days you're going to learn and it's going to stick.
I know. He goes, Dan, this is what's going to happen. Right. It was before the global pandemic. It was before everybody glommed on the inbound. It's before the inbound set. By the way, inbound 2021 starts next week. Right? It's free. I don't have my inbound background, but you can get a free pass. Oprah's going to be there. Spike Lee's going to be there. I'm going to be there. Right. I love saying that in the same sentence, right? I know. And Todd said it's going to take years for people to understand. I'm like, no, this is going to be, people are going to get it. They're going to get it immediately. And he's like, I don't know, Dan, I think it's going to take a little bit of time. And so it's been a labor of love, right? To help people understand this transition. Todd has been unbelievable, and there is a lot of stuff to update. That's why the live shows are so impactful. There is a foundation of the 6 ways you become an inbound organization. That employee profile, oh my goodness, personas and employee profiles is Todd's jam, right? And he starts going off in a Todd-like way about how important it is to recruit the right people. And you're right, we should probably do some updates for the book for the next 5 years.
Ethan, thank you again. Very much appreciate you being here. Dan, a pleasure as always. I'm Todd Hockenberry. This is Inbound Organization. Go to inboundorganization.com, BombBomb.com. Those links will be in the chat in the comments section. Thank you, everybody, for paying attention and for watching this today. Thank you.
Thank you.